Hello, everyone. So, I wasn't expecting necessarily to be reviewing another song so close to an album release, but I had some extra free time. It's a lot of bad weather around here, so a lot of classes are being canceled, and you just end up with more free time than you expected. So, today we had a song drop that has been teased and anticipated for quite some time off of Avril Lavigne's upcoming album, Head Above Water, which comes out this Friday. I am so excited to listen to it. And of course, I'll be filming a review for it this weekend, hopefully, if I have the time, but soon after. And the song is called Dumb Blonde, and it is predicted to be the big second single from this record. Tell Me It's Over was sort of more of like a promotional single, even though it did have a music video. And the big surprise, which none of us saw coming, was the fact that it had a feature, and that feature was Miss Nicki Minaj. If anyone remembers her hit song Girlfriend back from 2007, which this song Dumb Blonde is definitely paying homage to, there was a remix that was released to radio featuring rapper Lil Mama. And I had forgotten about that for quite a long time. And then lead up to this album, I remembered that. And then I just thought, oh, she has this song called Dumb Blonde. It'd be interesting to see if it is anything like Girlfriend. And I heard sonically that it pulled a lot of influence from that song, and that the other song it sort of samples in the production and the beat and the rhythm is Hollaback Girl by Gwen Stefani. It definitely has the drumline rhythm and percussion that makes it feel a bit like a high school cheerleading squad hype song. And Nicki Minaj being featured on an Avril Lavigne song may be quite shocking to fans from both artists. They seem to be two worlds that we never thought would actually come together. Nicki Minaj has featured on actually a ton of major pop female and pop male stars' songs in the past, so why is it too surprising that she wouldn't hop on this song? And so I have no problem with it. I will just say that straight up. I'm not one of the Avril Lavigne. The Avril Lavigne fans were like, "Why are you working with her? She's so trashy. Oh my gosh! Like this is not the direction we want you to see you go in." And it's like, calm down. It's one small little 30-second feature on a full-length album. There's no other features on this record, and it's a fun song that is definitely screaming to be played on the radio. It's definitely the one song I think from the album of Head Above Water that isn't taking itself quite so seriously. I feel as though, we're coming from a song like Head Above Water, which has such heavy subject matter surrounding it. I mean, it's talking about, illness. It's talking about succumbing to the depression of it, to thinking you may not even live the next day. And then that's sprinkled throughout a lot of these other songs, and even the more sort of simpler love songs or like lighter love songs, they're coming from a much more kind of sincere and endearing place. It's like, this is a deeper album. So Dumb Blonde is probably going to stand out as being something that, is trying to lighten the mood, trying to kind of change up the ambiance. And you know what? It's totally fine. It's an album of it's an album of variety, which honestly all of Avril Lavigne's, at least most of Avril Lavigne's albums are. I mean, her early two records were a lot more cohesive in sound. None of them were necessarily like, this is the radio single and this isn't. The songs were all just like very kind of raw, and they had that grit behind them. And a lot of people may think, oh, is this album going to just be another, self-titled or another The Best Damn Thing? I don't have any problems with any of those records. I understand people who want her to repeat Let Go back to her more punk rock aesthetic, but she's not a teenager anymore, and she's not going to necessarily want to be in that same sort of heavy kind of almost emo mindset that drove a lot of that music. I mean, that's kind of a very kind of distinct age, I think, in someone's life when they're making music that has that distinct edge. And it's also, of course, not anything that, I don't want to say that she should do things that are trendy, but it's also not really in vogue anymore to make music like that. So there's just not a lot that's making that kind of music come out of Avril Lavigne these days. And I think people just need to accept that. Avril is going to be a lot more pop and a little bit more mainstream sounding for the rest of her career. And there's going to be moments and glimmers of that old school punk rock sound, but definitely heavy guitars on this track. The riffs are incredible. It's just pounding. It's very well syncopated. It's a total definition of a great pop song that's easy to sing along to. It gets stuck in your head. It sounds a lot similar to a lot of big songs from the past, from the 2000s, like Holla Back Girl and Girlfriend, but at the same time, I feel like it's not too repetitive or, too copycatish. It definitely still has its own unique structure in the verses. I think the verses are actually kind of intriguing. There's some vocal distortions I wasn't expecting, and she actually reaches some pretty high notes, which is actually pretty impressive. You kind of don't think of this song as being much about vocals, but there actually are some pretty impressive vocal riffs in some of the verses. And they reach pretty high. Now, lyrically, there's not a whole lot more to dissect here. I mean, this is an ode to womanhood. This is an ode to empowerment. Obviously, the breaking against the stereotype that blondes are bimbos, basically. So she's going to, own her blonde hair. She's going to own her femininity. It's something that a lot of pop stars have done in the past. Katy Perry's made songs about this. Nicki Minaj has made songs about this. Lady Gaga's made songs about this. This is a very common pop trope, which is that, we play up the Paris Hilton aesthetic, but we also, make a point of the fact that just because we may, look like Legally Blonde Elle Woods type, that doesn't mean we can't also be, a great lawyer, or we can't be a great businesswoman or CEO or teacher, or research scientist. We can do anything, and still be blonde, still be, but to me, I'll be honest, to me, the whole subject matter is a little pastiche. It's a little bit like, hey, like, it's a little on the surface, it's a little shallow, but I'm gonna overlook that because, like I said, this is just one song, and Avril's allowed to have fun. I mean, come on, like, we can't just make this album be super, super heavy and depressing the whole way through. I'm not necessarily expecting that from her. So will it be my favorite song off the album? Definitely not. Does it have the same kind of symbolic and meaning to me as songs like Head Above Water? Absolutely not. But is it a fun song to crank up in the car and dance to? Absolutely yes. And do I think it's a pretty great definition of a pop song? I mean, Bonnie McKee had a lot of hand in writing this, so you can definitely hear that traditional, like, Katy Perry style pop song that's just, it's a perfect package. There's something that's so great about a perfect pop song. I will not deny that. So that's my thoughts on this track, and I just had to quickly let that be known because it was dropped so close to the album, and usually, like I said, I don't release as many track reviews so close to the album because it's kind of redundant. But what the heck? So let me know in the comments what you thought of this song. Also, Nicki's verse, let me just point out, it's short and sweet, very similar to other verses she's done on other songs. It's just her riding the flow very, very well. I mean, she does an impeccable job with that. It doesn't feel too out of place in the sonic structure. And it definitely, you can feel the empowerment of the two together. I really hope they're both in a music video together. And there is a rumor that a lot of other big pop stars like Britney Spears, like Kesha, like Taylor Swift have all been invited to be on the set of this music video that will be being filmed soon. And that would be amazing to see a ton of blonde pop stars singing along to an Avril Lavigne song. I think that could be such a cool moment. And it's a really important moment for Avril because this is giving her that exposure that she otherwise would probably not have for this record. This song, mainly because of the collab with Nicki, is putting her in a different realm of Billboard charting territory and of, clickbaity kind of article media awareness, because it's like all of a sudden, oh my God, Avril's back. Where did she come from? She's with Nicki. Like, oh my God, everyone's getting so fascinated with her again. And I love that. So in many ways, I think the feature was a lot of, in a way, an attention grab, but I'm totally okay with it because Avril deserves more promotion. She deserves more success than what she's been getting in recent years. But that's just how it is when you take a lot of time away from the music industry. And, she's not necessarily making music for the charts anyway. So we're not that worried about it. But it'd be nice for her to get that extra promotion and to get that extra, push on the charts, from something like that, to get back into the cultural conversation again. So, but with a song like this, don't look much beyond the surface, but that's okay. Let me know in the comment section what you have to say, and I'm so excited for Head Above Water as it is coming out so soon. check out in the link in the description. I have my top 10 Avril Lavigne songs where I talk about my favorite Avril songs. So if you want to check more Avril content out, that would be the video to watch on my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night or day, whatever time it is. Peace, love, and light. Bye.